Okay, time for the second of 6 senior road tax heats. It's heat 2, groups C and D. Let's take you through the starting grid. On pole position, it's going to be the 356 of Mark Schubman with Jod van Wijk alongside on the front row. Row 2 is Kevin Navis, who was pretty much a dark horse in qualifying earlier on today. He's joined by Vic Stevens on row 2. Timo Jungling moves up to seniors this year. We'll have Julian Setnica alongside. Krik Knorren and Ralph van der Peewert round out row 4, with Ivar Anagnostiidis and Puck Gubbles completing the top 10. Flynn Fitters and Gregor Feigenspan round out row 6, with Alexandre Aim and Colombia's Martin Herrera on row 7. Danny Shields and Rein van der Meer on row 8, Wood Kirstens and Dante Sima round out row 9, completing the top 20. It's Yannick Mike Gabrich with Mika van der Pavert, Bram Plomp, Sasha Aim, and Kaz Boshouse, who was demoted to the back of the field after being found to be underweight post-qualifying and was promptly excluded. So 10 minutes on the timer, plus an additional lap. So we'll be a third of the way through, with everyone having taken part in one of the 6 heats so far. So each of the 47 seniors will take part in 3 heats. And then we'll get the total intermediate classification, and then we'll find out tomorrow. Oh, we've had one off, thank you very much. Hulst Becken, good friend of mine, who was with me, with myself, Henry and Jen, at the Grand Finals in Portimao. We have got one off of turn 4. So that could be the fact that we will have one kart not starting, and that, well, there's something in the hand of the driver, possibly could be chain guard related. Well, it's actually, that's the 317. And that is Colombia's Martin Herrera that has broken down. So we're down to 22 runners and riders. It's always nice to have a bit of company. So thank you very much, Hulst, for jumping up here to chat. It's been a while. He's been very, very busy working away, has this man. His hands are still dirty from helping out. He's been doing some coaching with Jarno Otmir in KZ2. But into the tram lines, lights are on. Lights are out, first time underway. Here we go. It's the run to turns 1 and 2. Good start by the pole sitter, Mark Schubman, as they are filtering their way through into turn 2. They can use the runoff area, but there is a bit of a tussle, and it's put carts all over the shop. Several getting caught out, including the 368. And I cannot believe I'm saying that. Ralph van der Pavert gets caught up in the crossfire of an incident that was not of his making. They all start making their way through down into turn 7 off of the Europlan. There is an absolute freight train in the middle of that. I caught sight of Danny Shields in the 325, the Emirati-based driver, family originally from the United Kingdom. Now runs with Ash Orchard and the team at KR Sport, has done so for many a year. Of course, his mum Sue celebrated a birthday quite recently, earlier on this week, so many happy returns, Sue. I'm not too sure if Sue is here or Dad Barry is here, but the fight continues up and down the order. But leading the way after the opening lap, it's the 333 of Jod van Wijk, Vic Stevens second. Timo Jungling, in his senior road tax debut here on the European continent, is right with the 327 and is trying to hustle his way up from third to second. This could very much happen on the run down out of the turn 6 approach onto the Europalan. A bit further back, there's the 314 of Ivar Anagnostiidis. The family very much entrenched in motorsport. Ivar actually one of 2 Australians aligned with the BWT Alpine F1 team out of Enstone, because the team who have just revealed their new Formula 1 and World Endurance Championship cars earlier on this week. There's another Aussie in the crew, Jack Doohan, son of Mick Doohan, who's now the official F1 test and reserve driver. But there are battles to be had. And Anagnostiidis looks for the move up the inside of the 356 of Schupman and gets through, and so does Krik Knorren in the 312. Great anticipation. And Ivar's younger brother James has also competed in multiple championships and also multiple events, including running in juniors last year, where he actually picked up his first victory. Outside of the his native Australia, as Krik Knorren gets through on Ivar Anagnostiidis very forcefully through turn 8. Meanwhile, the battle a little bit further up the road. This is for the race lead. Three-kart brawl. It's Jort van Wijk, Vic Stevens and Timo Jungling. Jungling looks for the move for P2 through turn 12, gets the job done very, very quickly and very, very much perfectly, precisely put by millimetres. And now he's gone for the race lead. Jungling now up from 5th on the grid and leads. That's 4 places gained. We still have 7 minutes plus an additional lap of this race still to go. Van Wijk looks for the inside move. So does Stevens. Oh, bit of a touch of sidewalls. It nearly put Timo Jungling sideways as Stevens went for the outside Hail Mary on the pair of them through turn 7. Lost a bag full of time. And now Krit Knorren is there ready to pick up the pieces very shortly. Jungling looks for the move up the inside of Van Wijk through turn 10. Nearly a little bit of a touch between the pair. And now it's a quartet at the front end. Jungling leads going into turn 12, but slides out of the corner. Van Wijk, I think, is still leading. No, it's Vic Stevens. Stevens has got the lead ahead of Van Wijk. Knorren now there. Now, if they continue to battle, you are going to bring into this mix 3 other drivers, Ivar Anagnostiidis, Mark Schupman and Julian Sednica. So you could have a 7-driver brawl over the race win. We still have 5 3/4 minutes plus an additional lap to go. Sometimes there is a sense of urgency with drivers. Other times there is a sense of desperation. So a sense of urgency is to try and make the move as quickly and as cleanly as possible. The desperation kicks in when you go for broke. The sense of urgency shown just there by Krit Knorren. Decides, right, Van Wijk, I need to get past him. I need to get past him very quickly, and did so very well through turn 12. So Timo Jungling has now got a teammate. Ivar Anagnostiidis right with the young man, family originally from Germany, Timo based out of London these days, and Ivar Anagnostiidis decides, you know what, come on Timo, let's go get him. Perfect idea there from Ivar Anagnostiidis. This is, as I said, Timo Jungling's first trip into senior Rotax, because at his age, he can still run as a junior in the United Kingdom up until the age of 16. Very different over here with regards to the rules on when you can compete in senior Rotax. I've seen spreads where we've had drivers as young as 14 to as high as 31 last year. So Vic Stevens continues to lead the way ahead of Krit Knorren and Jort van Wijk. Vic Stevens has put in the fastest lap of the race a few laps ago, a 55.386 second lap time. Ivar Anagnostiidis is 1.2 seconds behind Jort van Wijk and is tracking around about a couple of tenths of a second slower at the moment. But if this trio start battling, Van Wijk is actually not right with Krit Knorren, who now goes for the race lead through turn 9. And once that happened, it meant that Van Wijk could close on in, makes it 3 line astern. Into turn 12. So whilst that exchange happens, we've got just under 3.5 minutes still to go. Let's see what the gap is between 3rd and 4th position. It's 1.2 seconds. Ivar Anagnostiidis started on the inside of row 5 in 9th position. Now she is up to 4th and starting to try and do what she can. And again, the top 3 start to squabble. This is not what they need to have happen. Of course, everyone wants to get that first win under their belt, but you start squabbling with 3 minutes on the timer to go, plus an additional lap. The cavalry from behind will close in quicker than you can say the word jump, and that is exactly what's happening. That gap is going to be at least halved, and it's going to be another change. Stevens up the inside of Knorren through turn 10. Van Wijk slotting in behind. Anagnostiidis and Jungling have joined the fray. Not too far behind, there's Sednica in the background from Kraft Motorsport. Mika van der Pavert, who started 20th, now up to P7. Now, this is where it gets a bit dicey. Youngling is actually ahead of Anagnostiidis, who is at the back end of this 4-kart train because Vic Stevens has broken away ever so slightly. So Youngling looks for the move up the inside of Jort van Wijk, gets through. And Krik Knorren nearly came to blows with the 333. That's not what you want at this part of the race. One wrong move, one slight bit of contact will compromise 2 drivers, and someone immediately behind will profit very, very quickly indeed. So 1:45 on the timer, still to go. Vic Stevens now in the lead again of this race. 9 laps now completed with 1.5 minutes to go, plus a lap. Youngling now 6/10 behind and leading the charge of the 4 drivers behind the race leader. The top 6 covered by less than 2 seconds. Stevens up 3 places from 4th to the race lead. Youngling at one point did lead, now up 3 places to 2nd. Jort van Wijk started on the outside of the front row. Drop is now in 3rd. Krik Knorren up 3 places from 7th to 4th. And Ava Anagnostiidis up 4 places from 9th to 5th place. So this is getting a little bit too close for comfort for some drivers, but these ones, they are steeled in battle over the course of the past few years, and they know that you need to be a little bit aggressive. You need to get your elbows out a little bit. As Vic Stevens takes us on to the penultimate lap of the race, and Timo Youngling closed that gap by well over half, and has got on his coattails Jort van Wijk in the 333. But don't count out Krik Knorren or Iva Anagnostiidis, as there is the move for the lead by Timo Youngling. Vic Stevens looked for the cutback and could not get the job done, didn't get the traction he needed out of the corner. And now Jort van Wijk and Krik Knorren sense an opportunity. But Iva Anagnostiidis has got the ringside seat and could pounce and strike when she needs to. Knorren looking all over the left and right of him to see where Anagnostiidis is. But Youngling is going to lead us on to the final lap of this second and very exciting battle at the front end of the field, Heat 2. One more lap to go, and now we see Setnica. Where's Van der Pavert? He's not that far behind. Oh, bit of a touch. Oh, and Timo Youngling's gone off. Youngling's off, and that has meant that he will not get the race win. But look at this train of 6 karts. Who can you pick out of this but Mika van der Pavert up the inside of Julian Setnica? The Kart Republic chassis prepared by SP Motorsport under Stan Pex and his crew has given an absolute rocket ship for Mika van der Pavert, who started down in 20th. We are down to the final 3 corners. Turn 12. Not that far away. But who's going to win? At the minute, it could be Vic Stevens. As Krik Knorren goes defensive on Iva Anagnostiidis, but out of the final corner, it's the 327 that wins the race. And Mika van der Pavert was so close to getting another place. He got pit by Iva Anagnostiidis at the line by 5th. Right, okay. Vic Stevens wins by 1/10 ahead of Jort van Wijk. Krik Knorren, a further 0.484 behind. Then 65 thousandths back to Iva Anagnostiidis. Mika van der Pavert, 56 thousandths away from taking 4th and gaining a total of 16 places. I have just seen a couple of penalties coming in. 305 and 388 Gregor Feigenspan, and the 388 of Puck Gubbles have now been given a 5-second post-race penalty for overtaking using the runoff area. So it's going to be Vic Stevens winning ahead of Jort van Wijk, Krik Knorren, Iva Anagnostiidis, Mika van der Pavert, Julian Setnica, Timo Youngling ending up 7th across the line ahead of Danny Shields, Ralph van der Pavert, Wout Kirstens completing the top 10 with Mark Schupman, Kaz Boshouse, Bram Plomp, Alexandre Aim, Puck Gubbles, who will be demoted following the penalty post-race, Rein van der Meer, Janis Mike Gabrich, Then we've got Dante Sima, Flynn Fitters, Gregor Feigenspan. Well, it won't hurt his race anymore because he finished in 20th. Sasha M, Kevin Navis, and Martin Herrera from Colombia retiring from the race.